Well, welcome to another scintillating episode of Realities May Vary. He is the always effervescent Cody Gough. I am the normally surly Brian Noonan. Welcome. How are you, Cody?
Tight. I'm tight.
You're tight? Is that good or is that bad?
It's good. I think that's what the kids said.
Is that what kids say that? I didn't know if tight meant, hi, Cindy. I didn't know if tight meant that you were, wound up, that you were tight from a workout, that you pulled your groin somehow. I don't know what that means.
No, dude, this is the best week of the entire summer.
Is it really?
I'm great. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm going to jot that down because I want to know why that is. But I think I think there's something, I know there's something major about the show that we should address right away. And that way we can move past it. Craig, if people are wondering where's Craig tonight, Craig has decided to leave the show. He has decided to leave for a number of reasons, all of which are his own and his own to either share or not share whenever he feels that that is right. I want to thank Craig before we go any further because Craig jumped in last year when Cody went on paternity leave. And Craig was gracious enough to jump in. And I've always enjoyed working with Craig, so we had a good time. And then when Cody was coming back, Cody brought this up after, we great minds think alike. So Cody and I both had the idea to ask Craig if he would stick around and make this a three-person thing. And it's been a lot of fun. But things change, times change, people's realities may in fact vary.
Aha.
And so, like that tie-in. And so Craig has decided that at this time, this was not the right thing for him. But as opposed to other things in show business where people leave, I can only speak for myself. It was not an acrimonious split. We are still, Craig and I consider us still friends. I will let Cody speak for himself because we all know that Cody is highly emotional and probably is carrying some sort of animosity. But that's Cody. That's not me. I'm still, happy to do Craig's show, which I do. I think Cody still does Craig's show. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing there. It's just a matter of people's schedules and needs and life and everything else changes. If you started listening to this because you listened to Craig on WMBD, I hope you'll still stick around. Craig's done at 6, and then we come on later. So you can always download this podcast on other days. Craig's not on the weekends, so you could listen to us on Saturday or Sunday and not interfere if you only have X amount of hours that you can listen to things during the week. So that being said, this started as Cody and myself. I am confident that it will continue until Cody decides to pull the plug, that it will continue as Cody and myself and, we and you guys. And we're grateful that you guys are here. And I'm grateful that Cody is still here. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, but I cede the floor to you while I pop him a cold White Sox Golden Ale from Goose Island Brewing.
Oh,
there's
tight,
a plug.
Man.
Ding, 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 ding,
man,
ding.
I wish I had beer. I forgot my beer and water.
Oh, no, you have no beverages? Well,
no
if you need to, after you make this statement, if you need to run get a beverage, I don't want you to dehydrate during the broadcast.
I don't know what to say. I never have anything to say, really. I'm just on the show.
You're a science broadcaster. How do you have nothing to say?
I say what science people say. I just say it differently. That I really have no thoughts of my own at any point.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Craig's awesome. I liked when we had our three-way sex podcast every
right.
Why did I say sex?
The Menage chat. That would have been a great title.
Yeah, but we still have a running text thread with the three of us, which I think is hilarious because you're two of my favorite people. So, I will say two of the people I esteem highest in radio. And I know you always shake your head when I say that, but you really are. So I don't know why I'm here, but
because the feeling is mutual. That's why you are here. The feeling is mutual. So
that's inappropriate.
No, it is. Listen, I have come to the opinion at this stage of my life, that life's too short to be worried about everything. Life's too short to get angry over everything. And life's too short to surround yourself with people who are a pain in the ass. So if I'm doing something with someone, everyone should know I'm only doing with those people because I like them. There's nobody is forcing us to do this. Nobody's forcing anything. I want to be here. I want to work with Cody. I wanted to work with Craig. I still will work with Craig doing things in the future, just not in this forum.
Wait, what about that hitman you sent to my house last week?
And that was because you owed me money, and that's different. Okay. That's different.
That's fair.
You don't mess with a man and his money. It's all about dollar bills, y'all.
That's fair.
You know that. You know that about me.
That's fair.
I don't play when it comes to getting paid.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I'm glad there was a holiday, so I at least got something to talk about. Because let's be frank, when Craig was here, I kind of coasted. I knew you two had topics, and I'd be like, all right.
For the last decade and a half, you've coasted.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I drove through Portillo's. I don't know. How's the chili? Just kidding. I didn't drive through Portillo's, but I would.
Can I revisit something you said now? Why is this the best week of the summer?
Oh, my God. It's by far the best week of the summer. In fact, the fact that I'm doing this show tonight is a massive testament to the fact that I'm committed to doing a broadcast with you, because I could and probably should and maybe will after this show be live streaming Summer Games Done Quick 2021, the week-long video games speed run marathon for a charity benefiting Doctors Without Borders.
I remember us talking about this last year when I had no idea about it last year, and now I had completely forgotten about it until right now. For those who do not know, refresh their memories.
Yeah, so there's an organization called Games Done Quick. Twice a year, they hold a week-long marathon. There's 24 hours a day, 7 days of the best speed runners in the world playing video games and completing them as quickly as possible. And what that means is they will beat, let's say, like The Legend of Zelda, wearing a Zelda shirt, represent Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Nintendo 64 classic. Let's say that takes 20 to 40 hours to beat. These guys can beat it in less than 30 minutes. By utilizing exploits in the game, finding ways to kind of cheat the system in the code. They're not using, they're not hacking into these games. They're literally just playing the games, but they find these tricks and tactics and they play flawlessly. And it is a joy to watch. You can go to gamesdonequick.com. It's streaming right now. I mean, watch it after this. And I have friends that have been like, they're not even that into video games, but they watch and it's mesmerizing. Because these guys...
Do you, I know it's for charity, so you're making contributions to Doctors Without Borders, but is there betting involved? Because it sounds like there should be some betting involved.
There's no betting. There are some races. So it'll have a 3-way split screen. And earlier today, I watched one and the runners were trying to beat Castlevania as fast as they could. They beat it in 12 minutes. And they were within
what does that game usually take? What's a Castlevania?
It's a very challenging game. So a couple hours, few hours, maybe. Yeah, no, they did. I mean,
how is this possible?
They did. They know they've memorized everything as well as they could. There's certain parts of the game that are randomly generated. So sometimes a boss will be programmed with varying patterns. They will have either memorized every pattern or they just know how to adapt really quickly to whatever pattern they encounter. It's there are people that are doing blindfolded runs. There are people that do.
Come on, that doesn't seem that seems like a ruse. How can you play a video game if you can't see it? The people are so into this. It's out of control. But when you do bid, they have bidding incentives throughout the marathon. So if you with a minimum donation, you get entered into a raffle to win certain prizes, and that changes every 6 to 8 hours. So I actually have on my Google Calendar several events in my calendar this week, 3 times a day, where it says donate $15 to GDQ, donate $25 to GDQ, or whatever. And I'll go throughout the week. And then if you have a cumulative donation over the week of $250 or more, you get entered to win just some insane gaming stuff.
I've actually won a prize before.
Really?
I won a vinyl record of a Castlevania soundtrack, which is the most hipster thing you can think of. It's so hipster. I actually gave it to my hipster friend who had a record player and loves Castlevania.
He's into vinyl.
Yeah, I know, on vinyl. Yeah. His wife was not happy with me.
All right. Now, you are the only true gamer I know. What would it, and for you to say that this is incredible, and what would it take for you? Is there any way you could compete in this? Or is this something that these people have trained for years? You said they memorized it. Is it years and years? Is it months of nonstop training? What do you think?
There's a lot of training. I mean, it depends on the game, right? Like there's some speed. So a guy just finished speed running Horizon Zero Dawn, which is usually like a 40 to 60 hour game. He did it in 2 hours. So for something like that, there are really tight communities online, and they have message boards, and they share strategies and tactics, and they'll be like, okay, in here you got to run from this point to this point, and if you jump over this thing, then it like saves you 3 seconds. And they discuss optimizations to the second, to the half second, where it says, if you stand on this tile when you go into this area, the loading screen will load half a second faster. Like it's that precise. And so for a longer game, if it's a couple hour long game, you got to figure you've got to sit down and play 2 hours straight in order to get one run in.
Right.
So that's a lot. Could I learn a game like Castlevania where a whole run is like 12 minutes? Maybe. But
what about Crash Bandicoot? Could you do that quickly? Because it seems like a fast game, Crash Bandicoot.
I think so. Let's see. Crash Bandicoot world record.
I don't know why. Run. How do I know Crash Bandicoot?
I have no idea.
Where does that come from?
I'm actually going to check the schedule to see if they're running Crash Bandicoot this week. So let's see. Crash.
Well, if they're running it right now, that would be great. And we just
they're playing actually at. Wait, which is tomorrow at 3:19 p.m. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. And they estimate it'll take an hour and 35 minutes.
Really? And what's the website for this?
GamesDoneQuick.com. And I highly encourage donating to Doctors Without Borders because I always donate. And they always send a letter after because I share my name and I always get a tax deductible receipt, which is whatever. It's not why I do it, but God, I love watching it. I love watching it.
All right, we've put it up on the screen, and we will link to it in the cast, gamesdonequick.com. I do remember us talking about this last year, and you being just as in awe of these. Have we reached now? Would they be considered? There's scholarships now for gaming. I don't know what they call them, virtual athletes, or I'm not sure of the exact title. Game sports. Or esports. Are these esport athletes? Would these guys be considered? And gals? Are there gals? I picture there's a lot of Mountain Dew and testosterone.
There actually are some gals this year. Believe it or not.
Gals.
Yeah, it's diversified a lot. There's people from all over the world. There's guys streaming from Mexico, Ireland. There was one Japanese guy. It's pretty global. It's weirdly not an esport. The only real major event is this. I mean, this is like the pinnacle of speedrunners. Like if you do run a game, that you want to be at GDQ. And they have a couple other charity spots here and there, but it for some reason it's not, and I don't know why. And maybe that will change. But these guys are busting world records all the time, just playing the same thing over and over.
That's kind of amazing.
It requires a very different mindset. Like you've got to really want to do it. You don't casually speed run. I don't think. I think it's a pretty hardcore. Like it's a thing that people will invest.
Is it some sort of mental issue?
Not universally, but actually, a lot of the hosts and commentators,
not gaming in general. It's the need for speed.
A lot of the hosts and commentators are like super cool, funny, like great at talking. They can explain everything they're doing while they do it. There's a like the broadcasters that do it. There's the same kind of team that has the same team of hosts that like kind of host the event every year. Big production team. It's really well done. And no, they're great. Like I'm like you could put some of these guys on a sports commentary event. maybe listen to them podcast for an hour. Like they're all good talkers.
Yeah.
So
okay,
that helps. That helps.
That sounds fun. So you're gonna blow the baby's nest egg on this? Because if it was gambling, that'd be blowing it. But making donations to a good cause is, because doctors don't need borders. Doctors should be borderless.
Does anybody need borders, man?
Man, why are you trying to keep me in a box, man? That's crazy.
What good does the Illinois-Wisconsin border do when there's a dispensary 10 minutes outside of Beloit?
But listen, I don't know. These, they, according to the because I do WTMJ sometimes, and we cover this. They're supposed to be watching pretty heavy along the border. The cops in Wisconsin don't like people in Illinois for whatever reason. And they don't want you, if you live in Wisconsin, they don't want you coming over here and spending your hard-earned money on the devil's cabbage and then heading back up to the bucolic land of dairy. And, you could be spending that on cheese curds, fireworks, pornography, or beer instead of coming down to Illinois and wasting all your money on weed. That's just how they think up there.
And yet.
And yet here they come. Here they come. Man, the weed. Oh, hey, in the house now have some edibles made from organic Michigan cherries.
What?
Yes, I will bring you one when I see you.
Where?
They are. I told you, I know somebody who is becoming a weedtrepreneur.
Yeah.
And is opening a micro dispensary in Michigan.
All right.
And yes. And so we got some more product. Let's just these people had been out in California recently, and they brought back a box of mellows. They're THC infused marshmallows. So we have one of those in the house as well. So we have a THC marshmallow, a mellow, and then we have some of these gummies that they're still working on because right now they need to be kept in the refrigerator. And so according to this person, they need a special license to sell something that is not shelf stable. So they're trying to figure out if they can get something where they can have them nicely packaged in a little cooler on the counter, because they're going very high end. It's a boutique kind of product that they're doing. And so these are, I haven't tried one. Now I know someone who tried one yesterday, not someone in this house, said they were pretty good. So we got a lot of stuff rolling around here. So I'll bring, cause I know you're an edible fan, or you used to be an edible fan.
I am. Yeah. I had to quit vaping though. So
I don't blame you. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't trust the vape.
Well, no, I wasn't vaping oil. I was vaping dry herb. So to be clear. So I was doing
to be clear, man.
It's basically smoking weed, but you're using a vaporizer, which theoretically is like safer and better for your lungs. But I am out of shape, and I've been doing yoga for like 2 months, but I haven't been doing cardio. And one day I woke up, I was doing yoga, and I'm just like, I still suck at this. And it's because I can't breathe. And so I got to run. And I wasn't vaping a lot by any means. Once every couple weeks, I'm not a pothead, but
every once in a while.
Yeah. But even I'm just going to be very extra, just, I don't know. I'm trying to get in shape.
I don't blame you. It's a lofty goal to get in shape. And I don't, again, these things, Debbie made the point of asking, how long will these things last in the refrigerator? Because we know, and you remember from the salted caramel edible story that was there for about a year. It's not like we're like, woohoo, we weren't eating them on the way home, or, I've still only smoked twice. So it's not like, it's not like that. But I got to try the edible now, because now this person warned us. They said, I think it's 10 milligrams. Does that sound about right for an edible?
Pretty much every edibles. They sometimes they sell 5s or 2s, but almost universe 90% of them that I've seen are 10 milligrams.
Okay, so I think this is 10, maybe a little. But he was this person was like, "Oh, these are very strong, so only eat a half." Well, maybe only eat a third. And the person who had one yesterday had a third, and nothing happened. for about, she said she waited about an hour or so. And nothing happened. So then she had a little more. And then everything was mellow. She said very mellow. And I was like, oh, mellow sounds good. But I mean, I have to remember if I try one of these to not be impatient, because that seems to be the key. And you know me, I patience, while it is a virtue that I only partially grasp some of the time. So I need to remember that if I go into the edible game. But see, that to me, then you have to plan way ahead, don't you? Or do you just do it like if we were gonna hang out? Do we do that first and then hang out and wait for it to, you know?
I wouldn't do any marijuana. Yeah, I said do marijuana when you're gonna hang out with somebody.
Do marijuana. Who are you? Me? What are you? 97?
Right? It's not a it can be a social drug, but it's not. I don't consider it a here's a party drug.
No, all right. So you know, I know, you know, I know people smoke together. But if you're out, if you're just sitting out, like we're having a fire in the backyard, a controlled fire, like in a fire pit, not just you know, I didn't set tires on fire, and we're like, hey, what? But this is something that you should probably plan well ahead, even if it's just Debbie and I. And we're sitting out there going, oh, let's do the edible. Let's eat the edible. I don't know if you do an edible, you consume an edible, you ingest an edible. What's the proper verb?
Boof.
I boof it. No, that doesn't sound right. That's what we used to call, you know, the unspeakable act back in the day when I was in grade school. That's when you're boofing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
what do that. You could do that.
I don't want to do that.
Well, mix it with a little
water.
So
you have to do it. You have to do that, and then you have an hour or so to do all your other stuff. Oh, ingest. Mike says it's ingest and edible. Thank you, Mike.
I would say consume.
I like ingest.
That's
consume
what
is
works.
All right. I like consume too. They're synonyms. Not to delve back into grammar policing or vocabulary, but I do like to ingest. I like to consume. I like to devour. Is that a good one? Devour some edibles. That'd be like if I just put the whole bag and I ate them like a horse with a feed bag on.
Oh,
that would be excellent.
No, like if you're like, I'm going to go to bed in about an hour. It's been a long day. I think I'll get a little high, relax for a little bit, and then go to bed. Can't do it with an edible because it's 9 o'clock. You want to go to bed at 10. 9 o'clock, you eat it. 10 o'clock, you're like, well, I'm going to crawl into bed. You crawl into bed, and then suddenly you're like, whoa, and then the next thing you know, it's 7 a.m.
Right. Yeah. I don't need that. Yeah. So it's got to be, I don't, this whole thing is very confusing. This whole cannabis endeavor. I'm enjoying learning more about it. And, but yeah, there's a lot that goes with it. And I keep hearing people go, well, I've been a pot person for 30 years. Okay. So what teach me. Well, you got to just try it. Well, then if you've been doing it this long, you should know how to give advice, shouldn't you? You just have to try it. It doesn't calm my nerves. That doesn't answer my questions. It's just, yeah, man, we do it a lot. You should do it a lot too. Okay. What's going to happen to me? Who knows? I mean, who knows? But this person came up with a giant mason jar full of bud. It was incredible. I had never seen anything. I had never seen anything like it. It was
the
like
person you know,
cow. The person I know who was opening the micro dispensary. I want to say micro distillery or micro brewery. Those are the micro things that I know. And this is just, they have a farm where they're growing it. And this is just what this person has around the place.
It's a lot.
It was a lot of big too, like big buds. It's crazy.
Yeah. I would, edibles hit different people very differently. I have a friend that's like, oh, I can smoke like, 8, or I don't know. He's like, I can smoke, a little bit and I get super, super high. I can eat like 4 edibles and it won't do anything, or vice versa. It'll be like, oh, 1 edible will kill me. But I can smoke like all day and not feel anything. So I don't know if any of that's just a crock or if it's real, but
it's people bragging. I just want to do something that I'll feel chill again. Like the first time I felt it was fun. I was just giddy, but even just mellow would be good for me. I think 10 minutes of being mellow once in my life would be Very enjoyable. One time to just go, hey man, I'm pretty chill. This would be excellent.
They have CBD flower and they have CBD edibles, and they have a little bit of THC because you have to have the THC to activate the CBD. Don't quote me on this. This is not real science, but my understanding is that, like, if I go and buy CBD flower at a dispensary, they'll be like, yeah, there's a little bit of weed in it, or a little bit of marijuana in it, or something along those lines. So, like, it will get you a little high, but mostly to activate the relaxing effects of the CBD. But that's the dominant thing. The couple times I smoked CBD flower, I was like, I just felt really, like you said, mellow. I was like mellow, and I was like, I don't feel high. I'm just kind of relaxed. It's very strange.
See, I know what being drunk feels like. I don't. Well, I guess now I know it. Well, I don't, because I don't know if the first time was a fluke and the second time was real, or if the first time was real and the second time was a fluke. Because drunk is pretty much drunk. You know, yeah. I know I'm either very slightly buzzed or I'm drunk, and I know what that feels like. So I got to figure out what this feels like. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I got to get down with the cause.
I got pretty drunk on the 4th of July.
I was going to ask, let's veer into the holiday. Your first 4th of July with an infant. How did he fare with the fireworks?
He didn't seem to notice or mind. Well, we didn't take him to a display because his bedtime is like an hour before fireworks, you know? But
how was your neighborhood going crazy? Because you seem to live in a neighborhood that would embrace fireworks.
There's like 3 houses within a square mile that were setting off, as far as I could tell, full displays. No one else was anywhere in my neighborhood. It was like,
really?
The next day, Casey was like, this is creepy. Like, it literally was creepy how quiet it was. No cars, no people. I took the baby for a walk for like an hour. I saw one dude like cleaning his car or something.
Really?
And our neighborhood has a million like families and little kids. Like, there's always, like, if I went to my front porch let's say an hour ago, I would have seen like 15 people go by. Nobody. It was just dead. How about you? Was everybody around?
No. Forget it. Our neighborhood's been blowing stuff up since May, when graduation started. And it got to the point, Sunday was 4th of July. So Saturday on the 3rd, things were going off. And I wish I were exaggerating when I say till 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, sure.
It was insanity around here. But our dogs are old. And so they're kind of used to it. They don't really enjoy it, but you can't really tell. Like, the one, Gidget will either go in the basement or come up here to the office. And that's what she does all the time. Lawson lays there and doesn't, if something's bothered him, you're never going to know. So it was fine. The cool part, so I want to hear about you getting drunk in front of your baby. But we were driving home. My brother had us over for 4th of July. My mom and my other brother and my nieces and stuff. So we were there. And driving home, we left his house about 9-ish. And the drive home was incredible because there were giant fireworks displays going off everywhere. Nice. It was, at one point, it almost looked like, that scene in Star Wars where everything's coming at you so fast, like you're going to jump into hyperspace. There were fireworks going off on both sides of the expressway, which was beautiful to look at, horrible to drive in because everybody was just like stopping. It's like, no, we can't stop. We have to just keep driving. And I realized that these were not municipalities blowing off these giant displays. These were just folks who had made a run over to Indiana or wherever, and they were blowing stuff up big. It was so bad on the Eisenhower. Stuff was literally, it was almost like you were driving down a tunnel of fireworks. If Disney had put together a ride where you got into a little ball and you were going along a track and there was some patriotic music and fireworks blowing off everywhere, that was what the Eisenhower was like between Manheim Road and First Avenue. And then once we passed First Avenue, it kind of trickled off for a while, so traffic picked back up. And then as we got into our neighborhood, I live about 4 blocks from a public school, and in their parking lot, everybody who lives along the block there had come out, and there were huge displays going off to the point where there were people parked, just like had stopped their cars in the middle of the street and were sitting on the top of their car watching these crazy fireworks displays just in the public school. That night, because they were so close and it was going off so bad, Gidget was waiting for us at the back door. And as soon as we came in, she stuck her head out to go outside. Something blew up. She ran over. She hopped on the couch next to Debbie and just curled in there for a couple hours. But so it was fun. I love fireworks. I got to see enough, but then we're going on a fireworks cruise on Saturday night, Cody, because my ladies, for Father's Day, one of my gifts was one of the the architecture cruises. They do fireworks cruises. So you go out and you're cruising around Navy Pier when Navy Pier does the fireworks on Saturday. So that was part of my Father's Day gift. So we're going Saturday to cruise on the lake and watch fireworks. It sounds like it'll be fun. I'm interested to see if it pans out. Because I don't like the public.
Sure.
I don't like traffic, and it's Venetian night. And also Windy City Smokeout weekend. So there's a lot of big events going on in the city. But it's going to be fun. So, all right. Now, I drank. So I had, all right. Tell about you getting drunk, because then it will tie in, I think, with the beer story from the 4th of July.
Oh, my.
So tell your story. What did you do? Where did you go? What does a Cody Gough do on the 4th of July?
Well, 2 nights in, I just got a little messy this weekend. Well, Saturday we're hanging out, and I said, let's watch a movie. We never get to watch movies because we got a baby, and then my wife has an early morning job, so she's in bed early.
Yes.
So we don't stay up late. It's like, what the heck? 3-day weekend, let's go. So put on the Paul Verhoeven classic, RoboCop.
Oh my God! You went back in time, Michael J. Fox.
I don't think I'd seen it since I was very little, and she had never seen it. And, I'd read a bunch of places. It was like, it's the perfect science fiction film. It's a blend of all these genres. It toes the line of science fiction and fantasy and it's kind of an action superhero movie. I get that for the time it was a big deal, but it kind of follows the exact formula of like any Marvel movie, right?
Yeah,
right. Bad guy does
origin and
good guy gets powers. Good guy triumphantly destroys bad guys. Then there's some criminal overlord or whatever that can beat the hero, and then the hero goes and almost falls, and then does this redemption scene, and then kills a bunch of people, and then he wins. I understand that there's more to it than that, and we did a bit of a reading of it. My wife is a big film person, and she actually appreciated it. So I'm not reducing it or trying to dismiss it, but a little overrated, I would say, for the 2021 crowd. But but that night we had these 2 big bottles of pre-mixed Jose Cuervo margarita mix.
Oh yeah, now you're talking.
We busted it open. I just had too much to wake up, and then Sunday we're hanging out. 4th of July happens. We got a kiddie pool, so that was cute. That was cute.
Of course. Did you go in?
Of course I did. It's for me. The baby just watched. It's great. No, it's great. So Sunday, my wife made this white wine sangria.
Ooh,
summer white wine sangria.
Very
Tons
fancy.
of fruit.
Very fancy at Casa de Gough.
Oh my God, there were 40 apples in it. It's super fruity. It's great. It wasn't even too sweet though. She did perfect. So it just got me lit. After 2 little tiny glasses, I was like, how much alcohol is in this? And so I don't know how this came up, but I decided, since the only other Paul Verhoeven movie we've ever seen is Showgirls, we made some jokes about it, and then I just put it on because I still had it downloaded, because I downloaded it 3 years ago when we watched it, and
oh my God.
I did a play-by-play commentary. I did kind of a director's commentary, critical analysis of a Marxist reading of Showgirls. There was a lot of that guy represents capitalism, and a lot of that guy represents capitalism. And it all in my head worked, and she said it was funny the next day, so it was great. All this happened after
I
the
would
baby.
pay anything to have heard that.
All this happened after the baby was asleep, by the way. So I'm not a bad parent, and she was much more sober than me. But yeah, so this is when RoboCop and Showgirls Paul Verhoeven weekend. Wow. We're gonna watch Starship Troopers. That's next. I really want to see Starship Troopers.
I have never seen Starship Troopers.
So the thing about Starship Troopers is it is a satire, but most of the people that saw it didn't get that it's a satire, which is troubling because it's about like fascists, like it's about fascism.
Yeah, that's what I had heard.
So yeah. Yeah. So the fact that
some people playing that on a constant loop.
Well, the fact that some people didn't get it just says things.
Does that surprise you really that people didn't get it?
Well, it says something about our culture. The general populace doesn't understand that fascism is bad. It's like, oh God.
Listen, seems to be getting more popular. You know, a lot of people embracing it. They're ready to try it out again. Didn't work so well the first couple times, but they're, you know, in other countries. But listen, why not give it a chance? We're America. We can do it better. We can do fascism better than everybody else.
That's true.
Well, those sound much better than the movie we watched the other night called Ice Road on Netflix, starring Liam Neeson as a trucker who has a mentally challenged brother who is a mechanic, and there's a cave-in at a mine somewhere way up in Manitoba, and the only way that they can get they have 36 hours to get to the miners with these drills so they can drill and get the methane out that caused the explosions. So these miners are trapped underground, but it's past the ice road season. So they have to put out a call to get any available ice road truckers who can go up there and save the day. Well, as you can imagine, Liam Neeson has just gotten fired from his regular trucking job because his mentally challenged brother punched a guy. So now they're free, and they need $200,000 to buy their own truck and have their own trucking company, which is the brother's dream. He, in fact, carries a pamphlet with him of a new Kenilworth that will someday hopefully be theirs, and they can have their own truck, and he will call the truck. So Liam Neeson is going. His brother auditions for oh my gosh, now who was the doesn't matter. The guy who's the Lawrence Fishburne, I think, is the main truck guy who runs the outfit that handles the ice road truckers.
Oh boy.
Well then, Cody, you're not going to believe this. There's some skullduggery afoot. And there's a reason why maybe these trucks might have trouble getting across the ice road to save the miners. And at one point, I will tell you, Debbie and I were busted out laughing because it kind of turned into the Terminator, where this guy suddenly became this villain who would not die no matter what was happening. And trucks are falling through the ice, and people are getting shot, and miners are asphyxiating after they debate whether they should just kill some of them off to save air. It was unbelievably crazy. Thank God it was the longest hour and 50 minutes I've spent on Netflix. It was crazy. But from the preview, Debbie was the one who picked it. That's what's so surprising. We watched a couple coming attractions last week, and the other night we're sitting there, and Molly was over, and Debbie goes, "Let's watch Ice Road." Okay, we'll watch Ice Road. What the hell? I got nowhere to be for an hour and 50 minutes.
Have you been doing the Netflix pick for me?
No. Oh no.
No,
that cedes too much control to technology.
Well, yeah, it starts playing, and then you can hit no. I'm not going to do this.
Okay. Ice Road. No, I won't do that.
We tried it out. We tried it out, and every single show we saw was Star Trek. It was like, play something. Star Trek Voyager, episode 1. Okay, next. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Okay, next. Star Trek Enterprise. The next one was Stargate.
Oh,
big twist. I don't know.
I don't know what Stargate is.
One of them, and then we skipped that, and it was some other Star Trek thing. I don't even a movie or something. I don't know. It was we're pretty basic apparently.
I'm gonna let it do it just to see what it would pick for me, because we watch so many different kinds of things that we started a new reality crime series, a true crime documentary series, only because it takes place in South Cork, Ireland. Sheila is it Sheila or Sophie? Somebody murder in South Cork, and it was the first murder that had happened in South Cork or West Cork in living history. They said nobody ever gets murdered in this little town in Skull in West Cork, but somebody did, and she's from France. Who killed her? We don't know, but they do know, and they kind of tell you in the first episode, but then they don't. You know what I mean? It's one of those. Could be a red herring. We don't know. One guy is accused. One guy is suspected. At one point, a little pudgy Irishman, and I love listening to it because even the detectives who are this happened in like I want to say 83 or 85. So now the people involved are older, but even listening to the forensic guy and the detective who handled the case, when they're talking, it sounds hilarious. It sounds like leprechauns are describing a murder scene to you. It's just the funniest thing. And they go, oh, and he's out of his head. He must have been crazy in his head. He's nuts. I don't know why. I love the lilt of the Irish brogue, even when they're describing something heinous. So we started that after Ice Road, because we couldn't just leave it at Ice Road. That was good. So you were drinking Sunday. That was the sangria. You were drinking Saturday, which was the pre-made margaritas. Did you start on Friday? Because this was going to be your weekend where you guys had nothing to do, no plans. You were staying home. You were going to relax. It sounds like you did relax. You watched some fantastic films.
We relaxed a bunch. What did we do Friday? I don't remember. Nothing.
Very nice.
Just nothing. I mean, I played some video games, but it was we needed it.
Yes.
Our baby has slept in insane amounts today. Like he went to bed like probably 7:30 last night. Wakes up at like 6:30, he's crying, fed him, went back to bed till like 10, right? So that's like 14 hours right there. 2 hours later, he takes like a 2-hour nap. It's like, well, you're out of your mind. 5 o'clock he goes down till like 7 something. And I think he's about to go to bed again. I mean, he's 10 months old as of last week. And he just, in the last 24 hours, he's slept. And I know that a lot of babies sleep a lot, but ours has not been that baby. Ours, couple naps during the day, call it, and you can call it. This is like, I think he's got whiplash from everything.
It sounds like he's just tuckered out. Plus, even if they're outside in this heat for a little bit, it wears us out.
True.
It wears me out being out in this heat. And I'm not a baby. Well, emotionally I am, but physically I am nowhere near a baby.
Sure.
But yeah, that's good. You should let him sleep. He might. Oh, I was just going to say this. Maureen said maybe he's going through a growth spurt, and they grow when they sleep, like pod people.
I hope so. I think so. I mean, I don't know. He's already gigantic. He's just a giant baby.
You mean that in the best possible way.
Dude,
he's tall.
He's a big, fat,
he's 6'3".
tall baby.
He's 6'3", right?
6'2".
Oh,
and a half.
I didn't mean to exaggerate.
We brought him to a pool party for our friend had a 7-year-old daughter birthday, had rented like a little pool across the street from their place. We go and we put him down and he's standing and there's all these little fountains going off. And this kid runs up to him and the kid is like a year and a half. And he comes up to like my kid's shoulder. I mean, he's just a big fat, like he's going to be, I was fat when I was little. So I think he's just going to be like me. He's tall. He's very tall.
Good looking young lad.
Good looking lad.
Sturdy lad.
So what happened with your alcohol on the 4th of July?
Oh, so, all right. There's this big family party coming up at the end of July, and I have been tasked with getting the beer for said party. But I've also been tasked with not getting a lot of your crazy craft beer. This is a quote from my brother. We gotta have regular beer, not your crazy craft beer. you have some of that, but we got to have like Coors Light and Bud Light and Corona. And then you can have, you get some of your craft beer if you want, but people don't drink that. And I'm like, where do you live that people don't drink craft beer? Okay, that's fine. So I had decided, because we were going to do kegs, and then I talked to our friend John over at John Carruthers over at Revolution. He was like, yeah, kegs are tough, man, because you never know. And I was thinking the same thing. You don't know who's going to drink what. And, so he had suggested cans. And so I pitched that. So, yes, we're doing that. But I wanted to make sure that I bring more accessible craft beer. Not just so my brother is not a goof, but if there's other people who want to try. And listen, I know people that are coming to this thing are like all kinds of beer. You for instance. So I said to Debbie, let's go down to Revolution on Thursday, and we'll try out. It was a fact-finding mission. It was all about research. So we went down, and I was trying. I was a little embarrassed because I was trying all the really light stuff that I already know is good from Revolution, like Everyday Hero and Cross of Gold and Rev Pills and Ghost Ride and all that. And Debbie loves their freedom of speech.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I tried a bunch, and Debbie tried, we tried, the little samplers. We did some flights, and I had texted John to see if he was still working, but he was heading home. And I said, yeah, I'm down here trying to find, some accessible, not my crazy beer. And he laughed. And he said, well, try this or this. I go, we already did. And those are actually on the list. So I decide I'm going to bring a couple samples to my brother's house on Sunday so he can try them and see what he thinks. So I decide I'm just going to bring some Cross of Gold, which is one of their Chicago series. And then because everybody in the family is a Sox fan, I got some of this golden ale from Goose Island. Why do I have such trouble turning things to point at the camera correctly? So it's they made it for Comiskey Park or U.S. Cellular or First Midwest Bank, whatever it's called now, Guaranteed Rate Field. They did this last year or 2 years ago. So, and it's a really good, easy, accessible golden ale, much like Cross of Gold. So I take those beers and get to his house. I take one out. He goes, what are you drinking? I said, oh, I'm drinking this Goose Island. All right, I'll try one of those. Okay. Comes back out a couple minutes later. I go, what do you think? It's all right. It still tastes craft beer to me, like craft beer. Oh, okay. I said, well, try this. Then he says they had an event at their house a couple days before, and he goes, there was some beer that the guy had here the other day, had a blue fist thing on it. I go, like Revolution? I don't know, some fist. And so I pulled out a can of Cross of Gold, and I was like this logo? Yeah. But it was blue. I go, oh, that's their Chicago ale, the pale ale. I should try that. So anyway, long story, trying to get it. He liked the Cross of Gold, but he likes Fist City better, which is they're more of their IPA, which surprises me because to me, that's hoppier than the Golden Ale.
It is, but I used to order Fist City at bars. And weirdly, yeah. I do not like IPAs as a general rule, but I've always found Fist City to be weirdly accessible for some reason.
It is, and it's good. And that's why it surprised me because his big thing was, and who, I don't know. So we're going to, we'll have some of that. And then my mom was like, make sure you get at least one case of that Summerly. And that way, if people don't drink it, I can take it home. Okay.
All right.
It's like, all right. She wants to stockpile it before August because she knows that it's gone for another year. So I don't know. I've created a monster with this Summerly, even though she'll have like one and that's it. Because she doesn't. I don't want people thinking I'm drinking all these. I said, well, you're 84. You're retired. You don't have anywhere to go. If you want to have a second beer, you're at home. Have a second beer, whatever. Yeah. It's no big deal. I hope when I'm 84, I have the chance to have a second beer, and I will. Then I'll help myself to a third and a fourth. So yeah, it was funny watching somebody who is very adventurous in food and other drink and everything be so weird about I just want mass produced, Coors Light. Okay. Nothing wrong. Listen, there's nothing wrong with a Silver Bullet or a Bud Light. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to drink a beer, I want, more of a beer.
Look,
and I know that sounds snobby, doesn't it?
No, we as a society suffer from decision fatigue. This is a thing that we've there's a bunch of research on this, and people just first of all, they only have the capacity to make a certain number of decisions per day. So if you want to really throw somebody off, ask them to make a choice at the end of the day, and there's just that's why a lot of people actually some people try to build up their decision stamina, I guess, for the day by picking their clothes for the next day at night. And then that way, when they wake up, they don't immediately have to make a decision and start in that. And that's why 7-Elevens can be overwhelming for some people. They go in and they're like, well, what energy drink do I want? There's 800, so maybe, maybe he's so busy being adventurous with food and all this other stuff. Maybe he's just like, beer's beer. I've tried some. I wasn't blown away. Just keep it simple. I might be getting that with coffee. So I have 2 monthly coffee subscriptions.
You've talked about having those subscriptions. I never really understood what they were, but
I have Atlas Coffee Club, gives me a coffee from a particular country every month, and Trade Coffee gives me a different American roaster every month.
Okay.
And I'm supposed to look at them and take note of which one is light roast, which one I'm supposed to grind this way, which one is more aromatic or fruity or bitter. I never look. I have no idea what I'm drinking. I open the bag, I stick it in my hopper, I brew it, and I drink it. And I'm usually like, this is fine. Like, I just don't have an advanced coffee palate, and I know I'm wasting money. Like, I should just have Amazon deliver me like a 6-pound bag of Folgers once every 3 months. It would cost me a fourth as much, and I'd be just as happy.
Yeah, but you really can't tell the difference?
I can tell there is a difference, but I never, I have no recall. Like, if I go into a place and they're like, do you want a light or a medium roast? I have no idea. I have zero idea. And I know I drink them all. Right. So I just randomly say, I don't know, medium. Because sometimes I've said light and then I'm like, I don't love this. And other times I say dark and I'm like, I don't love this. So, I just gotta figure it out.
That is interesting, the decision fatigue, because I know there's a lot of things I don't want to make decisions about anymore, like dinner or stuff like that. That's why for years, eating just a lean cuisine and a salad every night has been easy. Because then on the weekends where it's like, all right, what are we going to do for dinner? So I don't like doing that. And you're right. At the end of the night, I don't want to make any decisions. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do anything. I used to do that with the clothes. Like you said, days if a week I was teaching, I would have my clothes ready the night before. I would iron what I needed. Everything was out. I was laid out like a small child so I could get up, and all I had to do was shower and stuff and put it on. I had already made my decision 12 hours prior. Mm-hmm. And I lived with those decisions. It was like, oh, why did I I don't care. Just put it on. It's ironed. It's ready to go. It's clean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's why a lot of people just order the same thing from the restaurant, the same thing. Dude, we had a pizza casualty.
What happened?
That place I've raved about that we ordered buffalo chicken pizza from, and
that wouldn't deliver because you were too far away, and so you had to go get it. It was from a little bar, right? They moved into a bar. Am I thinking of the right place?
Yeah, moved into a bar, and we'd order on Grubhub. Yeah, they stopped using Grubhub and DoorDash. Can't get pizza from them anymore. We had a panic last week. We about lost our minds. So talk about decision fatigue. Same routine for 6 weeks. Open up Grubhub, tap, reorder, tap, order, tap, tip. Good, we're good to go. It was 3 taps every Friday. No. Then I had to search local pizza places. I had to read reviews. And then I'm like, which one has pepperoni? None of them had pepperoni. They were all I do not understand.
Wait, hold on. What?
You could get a pepperoni pizza at some of these places if you ordered a cheese pizza and added pepperoni. But every place would be order one of our 3 pizzas. This one has 19 meats on it. This one has 19 vegetables on it. And this one is I don't know, Hawaiian or something. I don't understand the fixation with putting on like, why can't you just have one meat? Why does everything need to have like sausage and pepperoni and ham and like chicken and you know what I mean?
Because we're a gluttonous society. But
stupid.
Isn't that all? I mean, there's every pizza place I order from has that on the menu. Like there's specialty pizzas, but then it's like, here's the small, medium, large, family size cheese pizza. And then here's the list of ingredients. And each ingredient costs whatever to add it. So it's always like, I just want a sausage pizza or a pepperoni pizza. That's always available, isn't it?
Some are very poorly programmed on the Grubhub app.
Oh, see, that's the problem. I don't trust technology.
No, and do not offer the option. And by the way, I would order through the Grubhub app because I would get free delivery because I have Grubhub Plus.
Of course you do.
Which I'm probably going to cancel because I'm no longer ordering from this buffalo chicken place every week. It's a nightmare.
It's very sad. Now, how far is it from your house, did you say?
It's like a close to a 20-minute drive.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
There's only one pizza place that we do that for here we only do it very rarely because it is a 20-minute ride. It's back near where we used to live, but their pizza is unparalleled. So it's like, but sometimes we're just not in the mood, and we have a very good local place that's like 3 to 5 minutes away. And see, this is how old school I am. I call on the phone and I drive to pick it up. I don't want it delivered. I don't want to risk, because, it's going to be 45 minutes for delivery. That's impossible. Pizza's not going to be hot. I delivered pizzas. I know what happens. So I'll go get it, because then I can blow every red light on the way home. I could drive recklessly. I'm not under any company auspices to be safe. I can get that pizza home quickly. If I was doing it every week, though, I don't know if I would drive 40 minutes round trip.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I said, every once in a while, it's worth it. But man, that's a shame. What's the name of this place?
Another Round Bar and Grill.
Another Round Bar and Grill. Come on, friends. You gotta figure something out. Why would they? Are they stopping Grubhub because they're open now? Are they a restaurant? Like, can you go in and eat the pizza there?
No idea. Yeah, you totally can. You can go in and eat. They're probably doing it because Grubhub and DoorDash, they take such a huge cut.
Yeah, and they were a horrible necessity during the pandemic, but now that people can go out again, why give these companies such a big chunk of your profit?
Yeah.
Man,
sad.
Did you find a new buffalo chicken pizza place near your house?
I'm not gonna. There were one or two places that offer buffalo chicken pizza. I'm not gonna risk it. Like these guys had an exceptional buffalo chicken pizza. A bad buffalo chicken pizza is a bad buffalo chicken pizza. It's like Chinese food, A bad orange chicken is there. We ordered from a Chinese. We ordered from a local Chinese place like a month ago. It is actually the worst Chinese food I've ever had.
Really?
It was so bad.
Was it that it was bland, or what was the problem?
All of it. Every problem.
Really?
Bland. Just awful.
Did you just roll the dice with this place, or was it recommended to you by a neighbor?
It was like 3 and something stars, but Chinese places never have good Yelp reviews.
There's certain things, whenever I move into a neighborhood, there's certain things I ask the neighbors about. I don't care how many kids they have. I don't care what they do for a living. Where do I get pizza? Where do I get Chinese food? And you get all kinds of recommendations. Like with pizza, I think we got 4 or 5 different recommendations. And then we tried a couple of them and it was like, And then I did some research on my own and found one. It was like, ooh, this is really good pizza. So we were like, we're golden. Okay, we got our pizza place. And then we had tried one Chinese place and it was like, and somebody I teach with said, oh, I know your area. We always go to this. From when we were kids, we used to go to this one Chinese place right around the corner. Boom, done. And then we found a great Thai place right at the corner because one of the owners of Flapjack Brewery lives in my neighborhood. And when we told him we lived here, he was like, oh man, you got to try this. You got to try Amaranth's Thai because this guy was a chef at a big Thai restaurant in the downtown, and now he moved out here and opened this place. Man, this Thai food is. I'd smack you if you tried to take any of my chicken massaman curry. It's fantastic.
You just reminded me when I was in town in Rockford for my sister's wedding last week. She ordered some Chinese food from a local place.
Nice,
it's like 2 miles from her house tops. But she had company, so she said, "I'll have it delivered." Or Grubhub, what the heck? Or maybe it was DoorDash. I don't remember. So after an hour, she's like, "I'm just gonna get this food. I don't know what the deal is. It's like a 5-minute drive from here. I'll just run up and get it." She goes,
"Okay."
So they have all of our food sitting there at the counter, and the owner apparently, or somebody at the restaurant's closed. It just closed. And the lady's like, "Well, here's your order, but hold on, I can't release it." She's yelling at someone from either Grubhub or DoorDash. They're like, "We have a driver. They're on the way." And she's like, "Your driver is 45 minutes away." The driver was a full 45 minutes away from the restaurant. And they were like, "Yeah, but we have a driver." She's like, "The customer's literally standing here. I need to give her order instead of waiting 45 minutes for the drive." And I guess these services are also short staffed. There's a lot of places having a hard time staffing up right now. Because no one's paying anyone well enough to want to work these jobs. And so the closest person was like nearly an hour away. And it's just like, why would you, why?
How do you even, how are they even allowed to accept that delivery?
Yeah. I also, I know you're supposed to tip a percentage, and I do in a restaurant. I'll tip the 15 to 20, but I think there's like a limit with delivery orders. If 20% ends up being like $30 or something, which it wouldn't, but let's just say they're driving the same distance, right? Yeah. The place is 5 miles away. Like you don't need a $20 tip, a $15 tip. So I'll cap it at, $7. And I give good tips, but I'm not going to tip a driver more than $10 unless they're coming from very far away. Cause it's like you're not really doing a lot of extra work.
Right.
When they hand you the food to put in the car, it's like an extra 2 pounds, right? Like it's very little, in a restaurant, they're running back and forth more. They've got more to coordinate with it. There's a lot more going on, but delivery, it's like show up, take it. No, here you go. Boom. I don't know.
Tom said he lives in a small town with 3 pizza joints. Unfortunately, there's no delivery whatsoever. That I don't understand how that can be. Mike says strip mall Chinese food is for douche canoes. Mike, I don't know. There's a time and a place for a Panda Express. It's not my first or second choice if I need Chinese food, but if I'm somewhere and it's like, maybe some salt and pepper chicken would be good.
Oh,
or maybe some orange chicken would be. And, yes, I know it's not authentic. I know it's, pablum for the masses, but sometimes I have the mindset of the masses and I don't mind a little pablum. So I'm going to have, if it's a Panda Express, Mike, I got to disagree.
Dude, I will get me some Panda Express. I'm DTPE. I'm down to Panda Express. I'll actually, at Gen Con, I'll get Panda Express and then go next door to Taco Bell to get Mountain Dew. Because for some stupid reason, Panda Express doesn't have Mountain Dew. They have Coke products. Yeah, they switch. Oh, boy. I refuse to eat Chinese food unless I get Mountain Dew with it. It's a thing.
Really? Even at a nice, nicer Chinese food? Not Panda Express?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever go out for Chinese food?
No.
Chinese food is one of those things that we have gone out for it a couple times. And by a couple times, I mean in my entire life, I've maybe eaten Chinese food in a restaurant. But Chinese food is one of those things where you just bring it in. I see people at the place we go to get our Chinese food. Now, one place we used to go was just carry out. So you knew it was authentic and good. But this place is a big restaurant and there's always tons of people eating in there. And I'm like, I don't know. No, I go in, sometimes they give you a big insulated like zipper bag for your order. Oh, in a shopping bag, you go. But yeah, Chinese food, you eat it at home, I guess.
There was a restaurant in Rockford on State Street called Imperial Palace. in that place, every time my friends and I were in town after college, we would all go to Imperial Palace.
Wow.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. They had a couple big aquariums with a bunch of fish up front.
Oh, every Chinese food place has to have an aquarium.
That was great.
I think it's part of the licensing agreement. Now they don't have to keep the aquarium in fine aquarium order, but they do have to have an aquarium in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
do you trust a Chinese place where the fish in the aquarium are dead?
Yes.
If they have not cleaned the aquarium, do you trust the egg foo young?
Oh.
Or do you order any fish dish whatsoever?
I don't order fish. I've maybe some shrimp, but no, dude, it's all about the chicken. Because it's so unhealthy, you cannot possibly justify getting any meat other than chicken.
Shrimp, if it's not breaded.
Yeah, or some seafoods, but I think just go safe. You're safe with chicken.
I've always been, I always enjoy a shrimp egg foo young. That's from my old school days. Then for a long time when I was really losing weight, I would just get shrimp with broccoli, and I would tell them easy sauce. So there's just a tiny bit of that white gelatinous. I don't know what the sauce is. Maybe it's oyster sauce. I don't know what it is. Where it's just white goop, like paste.
Do you eat your Chinese food with one of those weird beers you like?
Usually I'll just have water. Yeah, of course I'll have wine or a weird craft beer. Maybe I go with I used to Sapporo, nice Japanese beer if we were having some sushi. Nothing wrong with that.
And China and Japan are different places.
I do, yes. I don't know a Chinese beer though. So I was going just something from the Far East.
Yinling.
From the mysterious Orient.
Yinling.
That's from Pennsylvania.
But it sounds kind of like it's from a different country.
That's racist.
Hold on, I'm Googling this.
I don't know a Chinese beer. I told you I had so much trouble 2 weeks ago with the Polish beer. I'm international. Asahi. Is that a beer, Tom?
Here we go.
I know sake.
Yinling, actress and producer, known for Hey You Shang Zhang. Okay. How about Yingling beer?
Yingling is the beer.
Oh, I thought that was spelled very differently.
Yes. No, it's Yingling. It's all one word. And it's Y-E-U. It's an unusual spelling. I think it's Y-E-U.
It is. But if you Google the vernacular or the whatever, if you Google Yinling, Yinling, quite literally, then you get a woman, an actress who was born in Taipei and raised in Tokyo. Where's Taipei? Let's find out.
Mike says Tsingtao is a Chinese beer. I think I've had that. That sounds familiar.
Taipei is Taiwanese, not.
Oh boy.
Well, which is Chinese? If you ask John Cena.
Don't ask John Cena. I don't want to even get into it. I don't want to be canceled by a government. This is I can't be part of this. I've got enough. I don't want a global power, a global superpower targeting this little endeavor.
You already have a global superpower targeting this endeavor. Have you heard anything I've ever said about America?
Yeah, but they don't, they got bigger fish to fry.
So does China, I would think.
Not anymore.
Oh, wow.
Listen, they're going to micromanage. That's how they're going to start. They're going to take over like guys like us and then go on to the bigger, start with the small fish and then then they eat the bigger fish.
I'm surprised none of the Chinese billionaires are going to space before our little cadre of space billionaires.
With our luck, our space billionaires are going to get up there. There's already going to be like huge developments. And the Chinese billionaires are going to go, where you been, man? We've been up here for decades. We're just chilling, we're just hanging out in space. Yeah. Who's the latest? So we know, what's his name? Bezos is going. And then who was Richard Branson? I was going to watch. He was going to be on. Did he say today he was going to space? Because I know he was going to be on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan. And they said there was going to be some out of this world announcement.
Well, he announced that like a week ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's going to go to space like 9 days before Bezos was approved to go. So he's undercutting the world's richest person. Is he the richest person?
Bezos?
Yeah.
I think so. Why not? Sure. I don't know. It's funny you bring up pizza because I'm going to segue because our good friend John Carruthers, and we'll have him on to talk about this more. I think I may have mentioned to you a while ago that I wrote a little article for this book that John had an idea for. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an old school, like, remember when we did the radio station we used to work at with the cookbooks? Maybe that was before your time.
No, I was there for that.
Okay. Where it's kind of plastic and they're bound with the little rings. It almost looks like a presentation that you would have put together back in the day prior to PowerPoints. And they used to sell them at churches and stuff. So John had started this charity thing when the pandemic started called Crust Fund Pizza. And he wasn't selling pizzas because that would be against the law. But he was making pizzas, and then people would bid on them, and every week he was giving the money to a different charity. And so it was very successful. And he decided he wanted to do a book, one of these old school books. And he asked a lot of chefs and notables and all kinds of people to be involved, either sharing recipes of pizza or essays about pizza or just about their love of pizza. And he asked me to write something, which I found very flattering and terrifying at the same time. But I wrote a thing for the book that he accepted and is using it, and now the book is out. So I'm going to post this, and he just released it right now. It's called Pizza for Everyone. And if you go to nachosandlager.com, you can order one. You can only order one at a time. And here's how it's working. It's just like you said with your rapid gaming thing. It's for a charity, but you get to pick your charity. There's a list of charities that Crust Fund Pizza has donated to in the last year. And you pick your charity, and they ask that you donate $35 or more to one of these charities, and then you screenshot them your donation and fill out the order form, then send that in, and then screenshot your donation. And you can pick the book up in a number of different places. But if you go to nachosandlager.com, it's right there, Pizza for Everyone. And so now I'm a published author, Cody. What do you think of that?
That is awesome. I was just looking at the website. John is a phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
He
writes for different food sites. He does all kinds of stuff. There was a big story about big story today in the Reader about the book, and some of the luminaries that are in there are I'm looking here to see. There's some names that people would recognize. Tony Quattro. No, those are different things. Hold on.
God, he's got some pepperoni pizza on his Instagram, and I'm losing my mind. Now
you got to follow him on Instagram, Nachos and Lager, because he does these pizzas all the time, especially on the weekend, and his tavern style pizza looks unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
No, I don't want to follow him on Instagram because I'll be too hungry.
All you want to do is eat pizza.
I can't take this.
It's crazy.
It's all pepperoni. Every other one is pepperoni. It's just pepperoni, and that's all I like on my pizza.
He was very excited because he tried the new cup and char pepperoni last week. I think was one of his pizzas.
Oh my God!
Now he doesn't know. What I should have done is told him I was going to be talking about this. He could have jumped on, but we'll talk to him again later. So
he's so cool. How is he so cool? Have you noticed that?
He is. You know what it is? He's very laid back. He seems very chill. I don't know if he chokes puppies when other people aren't looking, but he seems like a chill, good guy. And we've known him for years. He is a good guy. I don't know how he's so cool. But the pizza thing, it's just like, dude, where do you find time to learn to, he'll put out a picture of his crust that is the dough for his crust that is rising overnight. And then he greets it the next morning. And then he makes these pies that just look phenomenal, and people wander down the alley and just pick them up because they've made a donation to a charity. It's great. So if you get a chance, if you like pizza and you want some good recipes and you want to read things, there's, the guy from Hot Doug's did a piece that's defending deep dish pizza, while somebody else is another well-known chef in Chicago is denigrating deep dish pizza. So there's that kind of stuff. There's mine is pizza, a love story. There's all kinds of recipes, from more traditional recipes to kind of a little more avant-garde, the more foodie type pizza recipes. But it's pizza is, even the old saying, even bad pizza is good, is kind of true. Who doesn't like pizza? You got to be some kind of soulless weirdo to not like pizza. I think that's fair.
I think that's totally fair. And I think, is that science? I think it might be science.
It could be. Now, you would know better than I, but
I know. That's what I'm trying to think. I can't think of it though. But whether it's science or not, I'm going to go with it.
It's fact. I'm going to say it's fact.
Yeah, I think it's fact. You know, I really want some pizza now.
I do too.
Well, we ended up with some pizza. We ordered from this place called Al Capone's last week.
All right. Is it a local joint?
Yeah, it was fine. It was all right.
Okay.
Not bad. Nothing bad to say.
Well, try some different. I'm sure you got a lot of places out there.
Well, try some more places. Dude, I'll be honest. I really like Pizza Hut pepperoni pizza.
Really?
I will order. That was our go-to alternative. We actually oscillated between that and the buffalo chicken in a couple weeks, and then we just stuck with the buffalo chicken. But I like pizza.
Is there a Pizza Hut near you?
Oh yeah, you get the big dinner box. It's like, I think it's like $25 or something. You get 2 medium pizzas, you get breadsticks, and then you can get I think we usually get like wings with it or something. But
really,
yeah, it's cheap. The whole thing with delivery is like $30, $35 tops.
Wow.
Get a couple pizzas. We always have some leftovers. It's you know, I ate Pizza Hut in high school, was our, you know, where I'd order, and I'm fine. I like Pizza Hut.
Listen, I have no hate toward Pizza Hut. It's not my go-to choice, because when I lived in Southern Illinois doing radio for $165 a week, Pizza Hut was the pizza place.
Yeah.
Besides Tombstone. So I ate Pizza Hut quite a bit, and I was like, okay, you know. And one time I was in Michigan, and the only place open was Pizza Hut, and it may have been the best pizza I've ever eaten that night. Now, granted, we had split between 3 or 4 of us. We'd split 3 or 4 bottles of wine, so maybe that plays into it. But it was fine pizza. And every once in a while, I'm not going to lie to you, a Domino's sounds as good as any other pizza. Now, I know people hate on Domino's.
No,
but there's something there's every once in a while, it's like, I don't know if it's a comfort thing. I don't know if it's a safety thing. Where it just makes me feel, especially like we've gotten Domino's in Puerto Rico. We've gotten Domino's in Mexico. And it's a little, oh man, boy, I almost said a little slice of home. And then I was going to punch myself right in the face. If I had finished that sentence, I caught myself before I was the most trite guy ever to speak a word.
Oh boy.
But every once in a while, that's how Debbie and Molly feel about Jets too. You know, sometimes you just want a Jets pizza, I guess.
I'm glad we thematically tied this whole podcast together by talking extensively about marijuana and pizza.
That's right.
Which you have not experienced. Well, what did you have the first time? Yeah, I don't remember what you ate. You went to the freezer and you microwaved something, I believe.
Oh, I microwaved. What did I microwave?
It was
sausage, egg, and cheese muffin.
Yes,
probably.
Yeah, it was like dude.
It was a breakfast muffin. And then the next time I had pecan sandies, because that's all I wanted the first time.
See, this is an exceptionally good time to do edibles, is when you are prepping dinner or when you place an order. It's like you get on your little app, or you like pick up the phone and you call and you're like, yeah, I'll have a pepperoni pizza. Be a 45 minutes. Cool. See ya. Click. You'll forget that you ordered by the time they show up. You're ding dong. Wait a second. What the hell is that? You go to the door. You're like, hi, I hope I tipped on the card because I don't know where I am right now, man. That's not how drugs work. But go with me. And then he hands you a pizza, and it's the best thing in the world. And it tastes good because we've talked about this, because cannabis it affects receptors that make things taste better, and you crave salty generally more than sweet. So pizza is like
That would be key.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Wow. I like it. I like what you're saying. I like what you're laying down.
Yeah.
I thought maybe we were gonna delve into the weed again this weekend because it was Debbie's birthday. And I thought that was gonna be on the bill, but it was not.
Happy belated birthday. Did you do anything special for her?
Well, listen, of course I did, because God forbid I don't. Well, it was not. It was all weekend. I finally had to tell her Sunday morning, hey, look, your birthday's over, because it was going on and on. Well, Thursday we did the fact-finding mission at Revolution, and then Friday, and my mom had asked, with everything opening, she was like, hey, how about if I drive up near you guys and I take everybody out for Debbie's birthday? And I was like, well, that's really nice. Let me ask Debbie, and we'll come out near you, because so we decide on a place, this old school steakhouse out in Orland Park, and much, much closer to my mom than trying to get here. And as soon as we got in the car, Friday afternoon of 4th of July weekend, I regretted saying that we would come out that way for dinner. It took forever, but it was a really good dinner. It's this, it was a place we hadn't been in a while. It's this, it is, I was on the young end of the customer list, age-wise. It's a place that still brings out a little relish tray. And the steak was phenomenal. The food was great. The service was top-notch. I ordered an old-fashioned. It could have been the worst cocktail I have ever poured down my gullet. It tasted like melted ice. You know that kind of minerally taste. It was horrible. Yeah. Horrible. And I should have sent it back, but I didn't want to cause a scene. So and Debbie tried it and she was like, it just tastes like melted ice. Like there's no liquor in it. It's all, but I finished it. Anyway, that was the only downfall. So that was Friday. Saturday, I had said to Debbie, what do you want to do for your birthday? And she was, so she decided she wanted to go miniature golfing, because we've been watching this show, Holy Moly, which I think I talked about before. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. Well, we went up to Lincolnshire to Par King's Skill Golf. And it is,
that's right.
Yes. It's been voted by the Travel Channel at one point, because they have the footage, one of the top 10 miniature golf courses in the country. So I thought it was only like a half hour from here, so not a big deal. So we drive up to Skill King. Well, Molly was here because Molly stayed over Friday night, and we gave Debbie her gift. And Molly had gone to Molly always is big on it. She likes to get donuts for special occasions. So she drove from here. She drove down to Do Right. She got donuts, came back. So we had some donuts in the morning. We gave Debbie her present. Everything was great. We head off to Skill King or Par King Skill Golf, and it was just like in the pictures. We got there about, I don't know, noon, and it's all retro. It's phenomenal.
Just like in the pictures? Just like in the pictures?
No, like on the website where you look at the website. Sorry. No, yes, in the moving pictures. It was very fun. I took the horse and buggy, and we went up there, and I had my manservant help me out of the buggy so I could miniature golf. No, it was on the website and on the TV, on the video clip from Travel Channel. And then you go, but it's been there forever. And we had a ball. And I started out hot, Cody. I was dominating the first few holes. Then I fell apart. And I didn't get one. Debbie had 2 holes in one. Molly had a hole in one. I did not have a hole in one. It's awful.
Brutal.
But they have really cool holes. They have this one. I'm dying to go back to try because if you hit the ball up, it goes on this roller coaster. The ball goes on this big roller coaster and then shoots down. But you have to hit it, and then the ball will go on there was another one where if you hit the ball into something, it would get on an elevator, and it would go up, and then it would either go off one way or other, and then come down these wild things and shoot out. There was a Mount Rushmore. There were some water hazards. I went in the water once. I think I went in one water hazard. Miniature golf. So yeah, it was fun. So we miniature golfed, and then Debbie had said, well, maybe there's going to be a brewery around there. Well, what do you know? There was a brewery about 0.6 miles from Par King Skill Golf.
So you walked?
No, because it was going back toward home. So it was Liquid Love is the name of the brewery. Liquid Love Brewing. I had never heard of it before. Cody, I thought of you. If you and I were going to have seen each other this weekend, I would have got you a growler of the best Imperial Milk Stout I have ever had.
Really?
It was unbelievable. It was made with chocolate cookies. It had I'm looking at it to see if I saved it because I wanted to make sure that I could tell you what it was. The beer. We tried, like, their Helles was really good. Their lager was good.
What's the brewery called?
Liquid Love.
All right.
And it is, man, it was just so good. It's in Buffalo Grove, and it's a tiny little tap room, but it's laid out nice. We played Trivial Pursuit, 2000s edition, and it was Dunk Contest is the Imperial Milk Stout. I want to see if I can get the description because it was just it was so good, just phenomenal. So we went there, and then because Molly was with us, so she don't like beer, but she likes playing Trivial Pursuit. So we tried a couple. So the here it is. Here's the Debbie loved the Raspberry Thug. It was a fruited sour ale. She really liked that one. Our Imperial Milk Stout, conditioned on hundreds of pounds of chocolate sandwich cookies, cocoa nibs, and vanilla. Cookies and cream in a glass. So much so that there were little bits of cookie floating in the beer. It was like the way I tried to describe it to Debbie, who wouldn't take a sip. You know, if you get like a Hershey's dark chocolate nugget, that's what it tasted like. It tasted like drinking a dark chocolate nugget. It was, I only had one small sample because I think, you know, Imperial Stouts sometimes are a little high. So I only had one sample, and it was, oh my God.
That's so awesome.
Good. It was so good. Their lager was great. Their Helles lager was great. The service was terrific. They had a ton of games to just sit there, and it was a nice little tap room, just in an industrial park. It was unbelievable find. Unbelievable. And so we had a couple beers there, played Trivial Pursuit for about an hour, and then came back. And that's when Molly and I separated from Debbie for a little bit, because this is something, growing up in Rockford, you probably have no knowledge of. Rainbow Cone. Have you ever heard of Rainbow Cone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They had a truck about a half mile from here all weekend. Right there. It was right there in Elmwood, but right on the border of Elmwood Park in Chicago, right by where the Wingstop that we go to is. It's right there. Debbie hates them. Molly and I, the last time I had one was right before Molly went to college for the first time. She wanted to go to the original one before she left, so we did. This was a much nicer drive than driving out to Beverly to go to the original. Oh, my God. So we're standing on the side of the street. It's 95 degrees. Big ice cream cone, like a savage. Stuff's dripping on my hand. But it was, oh, my God, it was good.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we went out to dinner to a bar that Debbie had picked that had lobster rolls. She wanted a lobster roll. So we went there, and that was it. And then I said, your birthday's over. It's finished. No more. I've been nice for 2 days. I can't keep doing it.
That's a lot. That's a lot. But
it was
good,
a lot.
You know?
So she had a good time. It was very nice. It was a nice way to spend the 3rd of July. And we need to take a trip, Cody. We need to head up there to this to Liquid Love. And I looked at Binny's. I didn't see if they didn't have any at my Binny's Liquid Love. So I got to see if they, if they sell outside, but they might not, because they sell it at your place. Beer Miscuous.
I mean, it's my place, but I don't live a block from there anymore, so it's a little less accessible. I'm new to the whole. First of all, I'm new to dining out as of the last year in general, but I'm also new to the whole dining out with a baby thing.
Oh,
where and when is it fun? Like, so far it's been like, well, if they got outdoor seating, we'll go sit outside. we'll have the baby. No one's going to really care. Breweries, I don't think generally really care. But is this the kind of place? Because there's a couple breweries specifically that I know, especially Beguile. Beguile, there were kids that went. Families would bring their kids because Beguile is in the middle of North Center.
Right.
And North Center's all family.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be family friendly just by necessity because of geographically where it is. So I know there's private places, but I don't know if like a Revolution Tap Room or a Gough, like I don't know how.
Well, at the Revolution Tap Room, there was a girl at the next table who couldn't have been more than, I don't know, 6 or 7 running around.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I bet each place has its own policy,
Yeah.
So, because some of the places that have food, there's always families there. Like when we go to Exit Strategy or Old Irving or Pollyanna had kids out there. When we go to, oh man, why can't I remember? A lot of them. I'll think wherever we go to.
All right. I'll take a look ahead of time. I'm sure they'll let them in. So
we'll,
dude, let's book
it. This place was really good. And I had never heard of them till I looked up breweries near, because the parking is in Lincolnshire. And like I said, this is, I think the technical address is Buffalo Grove, but it's right next door,
Yeah. So we've done a lot of beer talk on our shows over the years, and I've never heard that name.
No, we're gonna have to talk. Well, and now we'll bring some of those guests back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and be like, "What's up, John? You holding out on us?" Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you not telling us about Liquid Love? I don't know how old it is. I don't know anything about it. I just know that I went and it was really, really good. And Debbie liked it, and I liked it, and so that was that.
Nice.
So there's a little endorsement. It's not a paid endorsement. It's a, hey, I went there and it was delicious. And if you're up that way and you want to try something good, do it.
It's fun. It's fun, to give gifts that also kind of you get to enjoy also, like mini golf and stuff. I just got Father's Day gift last week.
What'd you get?
Yeah. Remember I asked on Father's Day, I wanted to play Final Fantasy.
To play video games,
for like 3 hours. Well, turns out that was the Sunday before my sister's wedding, and I still had to perfect the ceremony obsessively. So I did get 3 to 4 hours to myself, but it was all in service of my family. So, really, and for Mother's Day, I gave my wife I booked a massage for my wife, but they took cash only, and you couldn't pay over the phone. And then when it came time for a massage, I didn't have that much cash on me. So I gave her like $10 and I'm like, enjoy your massage, $10 off. So we did great with Mother's and Father's Day this year. We just did phenomenal. It was great. We did get each other a card and pretend to sign it by our son. And that was very cute.
Okay.
But no, it's last week. She sprung it on me. She got us lyric opera subscription. So we're going to 3 operas.
Really?
And I feel very weird because, Brian, you and I used to go to the musical theater a lot.
Yes, quite a bit.
Long time ago. And now I'm like, oh my God, we have tickets to shows that we're going to go see.
That's nice.
It's incredible.
That is excellent.
We can take the Metro, shoot down to Ogilvy. It's right there, right? So
yeah,
it's basically like just hopping on the L and heading downtown. It's good. We'll have our nanny or babysitter come, watch the kid, hop on the train, come on back, call it a day.
I've got to say, that could be the most elitist conversation I've heard. You're going to have your nanny come while you and your wife go off to the opera, while you don your top hat and cape and monocle and head down into the city for a wonderful time, while your caretaker watches over your child.
Wow, I hope while we're gone, my baby doesn't end up flying to the second star on the left and keep going on till dawn.
Have until morning. Yeah.
Now, too.
Has your chimney been cleaned out so your nanny can come down there?
We had a chimney sweep, but I think we need more of that.
Chimney, chim chiroo.
I'd buy that for $1.
Let's just throw out some Mary Poppins references for everybody. Little Mary Poppins for you.
You know,
Dick Van Dyke.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I got the reference. Did
I
you
know
get
you
my
did.
reference?
No, buy that for $1? No, I did not.
It's from RoboCop.
Oh, haven't seen RoboCop in way too long.
Oh, all right.
It's fresh in your mind. You have an advantage. You have a RoboCop reference advantage.
Actually, my friend Blake has been quoting.
Mike got it.
Good.
Mike in the chat got it. He got the call back.
My friend Blake has been quoting "I'd buy that for $1" since second grade, and I have never known the source of it. And sometimes I've just said it ironically while we're hanging out. We've all said it. Didn't know. So my entire childhood. No, we'd quote each, just memeing, just
sure,
doing dumb catchphrases. Never knew what it was from. Saturday was a revelation. It was like my whole childhood. It was like, oh, that's
what is
from
what is that context in the movie? I don't remember.
There's a through line running gag through the thing where characters will randomly be watching a TV show, and on the TV show there's some weird dumb situation where like two scantily clad women like hug this kind of like dopey looking like fat guy with a mustache, and like one will fall over or something, or one will say something silly, and then there's like a pop zoom into his face, and he'll just like look, and he'll be like, I'd buy that for $1. And then and the thing is, everyone in the movie who's watching this happen on any of the television sets starts laughing uproariously, like to a parodic degree, where they just there's like two henchmen who have just like shot and killed a bunch of people, and they're sitting down like these evil henchmen, and they look, and he's like, I buy that for $1, and he's like and he's like doubling over laughing, and they're both like just losing their minds, and it's very. But there's another reference that one of the characters makes in the movie that is equally hilarious. So anyway,
well, I'll have to see if it comes back on. I'm trying to think. I thought it was on cable not too long ago. I thought, oh, RoboCop, and then I didn't watch it. Mike says it's Benny Hill. Was it Benny Hill?
Was it Benny Hill?
Was it Benny Hill in RoboCop?
No.
I look at you. I know you're Googling it. Let everybody know. It sounds just the way when you described it, it sounded like a Benny Hill thing, but I don't know.
No. I think Mike was joking. I don't actually know what Benny Hill looks like.
Oh, fake Benny Hill. Oh, Mike.
There we go.
Out. Mike's faking me out.
There we go.
I'm being faked out.
He didn't really look like Benny Hill a lot. He's got a big like handlebar kind of hand. I don't know. It's whatever.
Some sort of big mustache.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I'm simultaneously excited, but also a little weirded out to be going to shows. I feel like pre-pandemic, pre-father Cody. It's very weird.
Yeah, I'm actually looking. I didn't think I was going to be looking forward to doing stuff, but now I've been in a couple restaurants. It hasn't bothered me. I've asked because the place we went Saturday night, nobody was wearing a mask except all the employees had a mask on. Mm-hmm. And none of the signs, all the signs had like different rules, and the wear a mask was crossed out. But I was feeling odd. I'm like, should we? And then I said, well, they would have told us when we walked in that we needed a mask. Mm-hmm. And I'm fine with that if they do. But then finally, Molly was like, I'm going to ask somebody so you can relax. And so waitress came by, and Molly said, excuse me, is it okay that we don't have masks? And she was like, oh yeah, no, we're just wearing thank you for asking, but no, you don't need them. I was like, okay, perfect. So I'm getting used to doing that. I don't know. I love going. I'm glad the theater is coming back. I'm looking forward to talking to some people about Broadway stuff, Broadway in Chicago, and doing all that. And I'll be okay, I think, when that time finally comes. But for a brief second, I thought, oh man, Windy City Smokeout is this weekend. Big country festival at the United Center parking lot. Like, that would be great. And then I thought, no, it won't. It's going to be either rainy or really hot, and there's going to be a bunch of people, and I'll pass. So, but by the fall, to go into a place, barring the Delta variant taking us all out again, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'm getting more and more, now today we got Taco Tuesday again because Molly came over. And last week I told you I went to this place and it said you had to have a mask to get in. So I went back to the car and got my mask. So Debbie and Molly went to pick it up because tonight their computer system was down. So they weren't able to answer the phone. They weren't able to take credit cards. They weren't able to do anything. So when Debbie couldn't get through on the phone, she and Molly were just like, we're going. I said, okay, go. I'll watch the dogs because Walter's here again. And they got home and I was like, what happened? Oh, well, they were telling people they couldn't take credit cards. And so people were walking out. I go, did you have cash? Because Debbie and Molly are notorious for never having cash. Never. But Molly thought she lost her debit card, her wallet last week, and immediately canceled everything. And then 10 minutes later, found her wallet. So she's waiting for a new debit card to come. So Debbie had given her cash, and then Molly Venmo'd Debbie the money the other day. So Molly still had some cash on her. But I said, did you have to wear a mask? And Debbie said, no, the signs were all up. Nobody in there had masks on except the employees. So I didn't worry about it. I said, good. Don't worry about it. We're vaccinated.
It bothers me when the establishments still have the sign up. Cause like,
yes,
we walked to we went for a walk with the baby and we walked by 7-Eleven and I said, I want some coffee. And on the sign on the door, big thing, got to wear a mask. I'm like, well, I don't have a mask on me. We weren't planning on stopping anywhere. Right. So what the heck? Also, no one has required that for like a week now. So I'm looking in and I see a guy and he's got a mask, but it's like around his neck. And I'm like, And then I see another guy. He doesn't look like he's wearing a mask. I'm like, what the heck? So I walk in and it's whatever. But yeah, just
did they say anything to you?
No. And the cashier had a mask, but it was under his shit. You know, it's like, why is that there? So it's all weird. We'll figure it out.
That might be a corporate thing too, that they're not taking some states into account. It's like, we're not going to dicker with that. We're not going to say, hey, Illinois, you don't have to. And Montana, you do it. There's nobody. We're going to just put up the signs, leave them up. We're going to play it by ear and go with that. And that's the way it goes. I will tell you what I don't miss, the footage on the news of all the people in the airport. I have no desire to do that, to go through all that garbage at the airport and get on a crowded plane again. I've embraced kind of the road trip aspect again. Like, we're driving out to Colorado. We've been driving back and forth to New Orleans the last few times. I'm digging the road trip again. Unless I have to go somewhere over a giant body of water, I may, if I'm staying 48 contiguous, I'm in the car.
Yeah, we're gonna fly down. We're gonna fly down to New Orleans in November for my brother's wedding.
All right, I'll meet you there.
How long is the drive?
Well, you got the baby. You're going to stop. I don't know, 13 hours maybe.
Not doing that with baby. No. Well, we'll fly.
Here's the trick. If you're ever driving with a baby, you leave right after the baby goes to bed, and then you drive through the night when the baby's asleep.
Yeah, not doing that. I have no night vision, and
then why bother? Take a flight. It's a 2-hour flight.
Okay, yeah,
but then you got to deal with all the
flying sucks.
The boy
flying totally sucks. It's very annoying. The people are annoying. Everyone you encounter is annoying. It sucks. I hate flying. But I don't mind being in a plane once you take off, once you get off.
Oh, I'm not afraid of flying.
Right.
I just don't like everything that surrounds the flying.
No, airports suck.
Right. So, the actual being in the air and stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's a miracle of science. Science.
It is. Yeah. So anyway, how did we get on this? What were we talking about?
What were we talking about? Oh, you were going to the opera with your pinky out because you're hoity and toity.
Something else.
There was something else. Who knows? It's very hard. Oh, you were talking about then when there was Benny Hill, you'd buy that for $1. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I know. I'm lost. I might be burned out. It's hard to just again not completely rely on you and Craig to do everything.
No, now you gotta jump in a little bit. You've been doing fine. Just let me say that. Doing fine.
I don't have any beer or water. It's very upsetting.
Yes. Do you need a beverage? Well, we'll wrap things up in a minute. I just let me just tell you that I spent a little time today walking around with poop in my pocket.
That's very weird.
For a tease? How do you like that for the tease of a story? Well, today was the day for the first time if you own a pet, you got to get the shots. So every year the dogs are due some shots, and a lot of times we'll get them at a shot clinic. But this year we had to, since we've going to a new veterinarian, and until the vet sees the dogs, they won't renew some prescriptions and stuff, all which makes sense. But today was big shot day for both dogs. And it's one of those days where I think to myself, I am so glad I didn't spend thousands on a purebred dog when I have this yearly outlay for injections and stuff and blood tests. But one of the things I had to do, which I haven't had to do in a while, was bring in, and it said right on the reminder, bring in a small sample of fresh stool. Now, last year, I may have told this story. We took them to a shot clinic for their heartworm and rabies and all that. And I brought 2 bags of poop, and I was told, oh, we don't do that anymore. We just use a blood test. All right. Well, this new veterinarian, they like the poop. So last night before bed, Debbie and I talked, and I said, listen, because Debbie gets up a little before I do. I said, if you let Gidget out, because Gidget will go right to the bathroom. I said, if you see Gidget go, you got to grab a little sample. And so I came downstairs, and there was a plastic bag, a Ziploc labeled bag, and it was in a grocery bag. It was tied up and it was sitting there. I said, oh, what's that? I followed Gidget. She wasn't happy with me watching. I go, yeah, you didn't have to stand over her and stare at her. You just got to watch from the deck and then walk out and pick it up. She goes, I know. She didn't enjoy that.
Sure.
Well, Lawson sometimes will go the entire day without going outside. He won't. Yesterday, it was, I think, he went out the night before bed. And then yesterday, he didn't go out till 3:00 in the afternoon. He's like a camel. He lays there and does nothing. And then he's like a little child where all of a sudden he will just jump up and sprint to the door. And then we know he has to go out. He goes out. But I also know that because I'm barely smarter than a dog, but I am in some ways smarter than a dog. I know anytime he goes on a walk, he loves to vacate on a walk. He doesn't, other people's yards, he doesn't care. He has no respect.
Oh boy. So
I was like, all right, well, that's what I'll do. I'll take him for a walk right before we're going to the vet. So I always, I have the regular bags on their leashes, but then I'd taken a Ziploc sandwich bag and I'd written Lawson on it and I'd put that in my pocket. And man, we made it about 6 houses and he pulled up and did what I needed him to do. Yeah. Right. So now I have to, not only do I have to pick it up, but I have to pick it up in 2 sessions. I have to get my little Ziploc bag out and get just enough, like 1 log to put in the bag to take to the vet. Then I take the regular bag and I pick all the rest up because I'm a good pet owner and I pick up after my dog. But now I don't want to walk around with a clear bag with 1 dog poop in it, looking like a lunatic around the neighborhood. Like, why is that guy carrying a Tootsie Roll? That's not a Tootsie Roll. It's steaming. So I put it in my pocket and I'm walking around with poop in my pocket, a bag of poop. But got home. It was still steaming when I got it. It was still warm where I threw it in the car to take with me. So that was my day, walking around with poop in my pocket. Sandy asked, where and what is a shot clinic? Shot clinic is where you don't have to pay for a vet visit. You can just go and get your rabies and distemper and bordetella. I know like PetSmart and Petco do them. We went out last time to Hinsdale at it was either through the animal control out there or something. They had a pet clinic. I wanted to go there again, but they were booked up. They were booked up for a couple months. And we got to get all this done because they're getting boarded next month for the first time in years and years, which panics me, but there's nothing you can do. So that's what a shot clinic is. Usually you pay a little less for the injections than you do at your veterinarian. Now, because we've gone to the vet and we have the prescription, like their heartworm and stuff, I can order online for a little cheaper, but you have to have the prescription. And, so it's just every once in a while. This is like a once a year. Now the shots, they're doing shots that last every 3 years. I actually had to text our good friend Steve Dale last night because the vet was recommending the influenza shot as well. And I've never gotten them the influenza shot, but that's because they were never had to be boarded anywhere. So I text Steve, and God bless Steve Dale. He is always willing to answer one of my inane questions. And So I go, hey, I'm boarding them. The vet's saying they should get an influenza shot as well. Do they need it? And he goes, in short, yes. I was like, all right, well, thanks. Short is good. I appreciate the information. So they got the influenza shot, which I didn't know was 2 shots. So now I got to take them back in 3 weeks for a booster shot.
Are you gonna put more poop in your pocket?
I don't need to carry any more. I don't need to carry any more poop in my pocket.
That's what I'm asking.
For this injection. You never know. Usually, I got to be honest, I usually don't have the poop in my pocket. It's in the big green or the green bag that I take off the little roll. And then I know this causes a lot of disdain for people. I use whatever garbage can is closest. So I, if I'm walking around the neighborhood and they poop, and instead of carrying 2 bags of poop around the neighborhood, I go in the alley and I throw them in a garbage can. And I figure, listen, we all live in the city. The city picks up the garbage. That's fine. I've had people yell at me before that I shouldn't use other people's garbage cans. Like, well, why? Why shouldn't I use other people's garbage cans? What's the difference? These bags are tied up. They're not, they don't smell any worse than anybody else's thing.
Well, the difference is a lot of people in the city fill their garbage cans to way overflowing regularly because they don't have enough trash service. So the more you put in their cans.
Well, let me tell you this about my neighborhood in the city of Chicago, Cody.
I'm talking about Chicago.
Twice a week. Twice a week.
Wait, they pick up your trash twice a week?
You heard me. And every 2 weeks, they pick up our recycling.
I'm speaking specifically of my experience in Lincoln Park, where all of the trash outside behind our place and our neighbors was always completely full.
Really? Well, these are the big 2-wheel dumpsters. They're not full. If I see one's full, I'll put it in another one. But most people have 2 of them out in the alley. So they're I say a big bag, but they're not a big bag. They're a little, little.
No, dude, I never cared. I lived in the city, but I never had to pay for trash collection. It was just rent, right. So I never have to deal with that. I just, it's like, hey, there's a receptacle that the city, like you said,
I figure it's, I'm being responsible picking it up, which I should. I'm not patting myself on the back for doing something I'm supposed to do, but the garbage is getting picked up, and it's not getting picked up by the person who put it in there. I don't, unless they're a sanitation worker, but it takes up no space in the can. I'm not going to, it's easier than carrying it around. I'm not flinging it in over somebody's fence. I'm not going into anybody's yard. I'm walking down an alley and going, hey, there's a garbage can. I'll just throw it in there. So
you're a socialist.
Am I? Does that make me a socialist? Because I'm paying for the garbage, my city taxes. I'm paying for the pickup.
Yeah. Sounds pretty socialist to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That we all share the garbage cans?
Yeah.
Boy, I got to look up socialism. I got to figure that out. I thought that was if the government gave us garbage cans.
No one else in America has looked up socialism, but it doesn't stop them from talking about it.
Well, why burden ourselves with facts when we can just talk? I've lived my whole life that way. Facts are cumbersome because, Cody, you may not know this, facts can sometimes prove you wrong. Not you personally, but myself. I've been proven wrong by facts, and it's scary, and it doesn't make you feel good. So I tend to live in a world where there are no facts, where if you repeat something enough, it becomes a fact.
That's actually we did a recent story on that, how one person repeating the same idea enough times, people perceive that as it being, so one person expressing an opinion several times will make people perceive it as a more popular opinion.
Okay.
Like if you go on Facebook and you see 30 people post the same thing, you'll have the same idea of that opinion as if you saw the same person posting about it 30 times. And it really messes with people's psychology. That's why one of our former presidents was so successful, because he constantly repeated the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then people started to think,
said something like that a long time ago? Joseph Goebbels, famed Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I'm sure that was part of your scientific pocket.
We actually did mention that the Nazi propaganda minister utilized
that came up Saturday in a speech made by a former leader of the free world, who
He's
basically
still talking?
Oh, sure. And it was also in a book that he authored or, put his name on years ago, that you just keep saying it. Keep saying it. Keep saying it.
Yeah.
And people believe it. That's why. Good night, Cindy. That's why I don't bother with facts anymore.
There you go.
Facts are for chumps. That's what I say.
There you
Facts are for chumps and nerds. That's it. I don't have any use for them. I'm keeping an eye on the big hurricane that's a tropical storm that's heading to Florida. I talked to my brother tonight, who lives right where it's coming. Right, he lives just southwest of Tampa, right on an island in the Gulf of Mexico. So it's like, hey man, you gonna be okay? Are you staying in your house? He's like, yeah, we're staying. It looks like it's not going to hit us. I'm like, oh, okay, good. He goes, but all the national weather people are here on the island broadcasting from here, so they're all thinking it's going to come pretty close. And I'm like, yeah. Every time I look at the map, it's showing that it's swerving right at Tampa, right over your house. Oh yeah. But when he and my sister-in-law built this house, they had to put in special hurricane-proof windows and stuff. So I'm like, oh boy, we'll see. So nowhere is perfect. That's my point, Cody. Nowhere is perfect. And facts are for chumps. I've made 2 points tonight. I like to leave people with a little like bumper sticker slogan that they could take with them and carry with them for the week.
A little hope.
So, yeah. Well, or lack of hope.
Sure.
I either lift you up or we crush your spirit. I think either way, that's what people want. They want hot takes, cold beers, and smoking chicks.
And pepperoni pizza and weed.
Yeah. All sounds good to me. All sounds good.
And a milkshake stout that tastes like Hershey's bar.
Dude, I'm telling you. I may have to go up there if we plan a get together. I will go back up there and get some of this.
All right.
Because it was heaven. And I would have gotten another one if I hadn't, if I wasn't driving.
Sure.
I can't. I was going to get like a growler to bring home. And I'm like, no, stop. You're trying to get in better shape. You can't be laying around the house drinking Imperial milk stouts all day.
No, I Googled it. I looked on Untapped and it was like 11.5%. So
was that right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of those stouts usually are. So
Karen's telling me I should check out Pet Sitters because they may come and Mike, I like the way Mike thinks. But I should check out Pet Sitters, Karen says, because they will stay, their license and bonded, and they will stay in your house. I will check that out. Mike says, how about a realities may vary pub crawl?
I'm down. We could do it remote.
We rent a bus. Yeah. We could do the show remotely. We got technology, don't we?
I 100%. All I have to do is bring a laptop and tether it to my phone, use the internet signal. You do my laptop. Because I don't know if this Restream platform we're using is mobile compatible, but just throw it on my laptop.
I think on the laptop it would work.
Listen,
I got a nice laptop with a lot of stickers on it. I'm a hipster. I could work in a Starbucks writing a screenplay. What happened to me?
I actually do have a laptop with a bunch of stickers. I thought it was in reach. It must be downstairs. Where is it? Must be downstairs.
I actually almost added they had some cool liquid love stickers on the bar, so I have a couple of those. But right now, my iPad is all New Orleans based stickers. So I'm debating whether I want to, my iPad is all brewery stickers. Like embarrassing. Like I'm a 12-year-old girl. I've got stickers all over. Like, Justin Timberlake's in my locker or BTS.
Hot.
Oh, very hot. So I gotta worry about that. But yeah, John or Mike, I like the way you think. We're going to, who knows what we'll do? Why not? I'm actually, before we go, let me give a quick plug. Tomorrow night, if you are going to be anywhere near the Rosemont area, I am taking part in a live podcast taping at Zany's. My return to the Zanies stage. I am going to be a guest on Lenny Schmidt's quarantine comedy show. He has been doing this through the quarantine. Now he is ending it, but he is doing a live taping tomorrow. And I did the show last year, and this one he's taping live with a bunch of Chicago people. So I will be there tomorrow for at 8:00 at Zanies Rosemont. You can go to Zanies Rosemont and get your tickets if you want to come and see that. Linda is voting for a remote show. We have people who would let us do a remote show from their place.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Talk about it. We'll have maybe we'll get some guests, do a whole big hootenanny.
I'm totally down, dude.
3 people show up. It's going to be fun and embarrassing at the same time. I can't wait. Anything else you need to you feel the need to talk about tonight? To wax
I don't have
philosophical on?
I don't have a babysitter for tomorrow, so I can't come to Rosemont. That's very upsetting to me. I wish I could go, but
come. I will. No, you want to come when I'm doing my own show.
All right,
I'm actually doing stand up. That's when I'll give everybody a lot of notice for that.
Right.
Because I've been working nonstop behind the scenes trying to set up more stand up stuff. So
nice.
there will be a return, a triumphant return. The long haired hippie boy comes out of retirement. I've made a decision on the hair, by the way. I'm letting it go a year. And then
how long has it been?
What day was your son born?
September, early September.
That's the last time I got a haircut.
All right. The day my son was born?
It was one of those days because we were in New Orleans when your son was born when we were in New Orleans.
All right.
And I was I got a haircut down there because I had a coupon for the place across the street from Molly's apartment.
All right. Let's just say Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, right around there. So then I will make a decision. Either I'm going to cut it or let it keep going for a while.
Yeah.
Because I cannot get an honest answer from anyone in my home. So I'm going to force my hand. I did have a few people haven't seen me in a long time. And we were at events. We were at my brother's house Sunday, like I said, and with the christening the week before. A lot of people shocked by the look after seeing me one way for 30 some years. So that is that. Hey, don't forget to check out Cody every day on the Curiosity Daily podcast, curiositydaily.com. Cody, I'm going to embarrass you if I can. Well, I'm going to ask you to paraphrase a beautiful 5-star review that you posted on Twitter today regarding you and your fine co-host, Ashley, about how great your podcast is and these people who start their day every day with the Curiosity Daily podcast.
It was surprising. It was a nice way to wake up in the morning, to be honest. It said quick, clear, and informative. This is my podcast somehow.
Yeah, man.
We quote, we start our day with this upbeat podcast. The hosts are informative, easy to understand, and excited to do this show. The humor is safe for all ages, as are most, if not all, of the topics. The hosts speak quickly, that's me, but clearly and are easily understandable. Ashley does not speak as quickly as me. She speaks at a normal human. I don't. The format is tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them, with the listener being the them in this case. You can easily enjoy this podcast with parents or children. Thanks for being a consistent bright spot in our mornings. That's pretty cool.
That is very nice. And I like that formula. Was that a conscious formula? Is that accurate? Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
1000%. First 25 seconds of the podcast, you will hear exactly what you're about to hear in that episode. Hey, today we're going to hit story. Let's go to it. Story 1, story 2, story 3. Cool, that was fun. Let's recap. What did we learn today? Bullet point. Cool, bye. So it's like it primes you to learn about it, so you know what the thing is about, and then in the story you know what it's about, and then at the end there's a quick little so it's I tend to over-explain things in general. If you hear the way I talk, I will say the same thing several different times. I just did it literally in that sentence. And so part of that's natural anyway, but the other thing is it's just what I've learned from radio, what I've learned working with you in radio over the years. You've got a couple seconds to grab somebody's attention. what I know from podcasting, it's like, tell the person what they're listening to and don't just start a podcast with meandering.
Right.
It's just all the things I've
Wait a
learned
minute.
over
So
the
we've
years.
been doing this wrong the whole time?
This is people come to this show for different reasons. People come to this show for the randomness.
Maybe I think that might be true. But we can start laying it out. And then at the end, you go, all right, here's what we learned. Absolutely nothing.
You used to you always laid out shows when we did terrestrial radio, and about 50% of the time we would veer off into some completely random direction.
I know. That's
because you'd make some offhand reference, and then the entire text line and all the phones would blow up, and everybody would be like, I remember that cartoon from the 70s, and then off to the races. But that was the joy of live radio.
Yeah, and it's it is the joy of what we do here. But that's very exciting. That's congratulations on that and all the other great reviews. I have read other things from people who are podcast experts that maybe you need to edit things a little more and add some popular music.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was reading those tweets. Cody had a podcast expert send him some critiques, and as I read your post, I could hear your voice screaming into the wilderness at this person because they are a podcast expert.
It was clearly an automated mass email, but it was just like, love your podcast, you're really great, but I can't help but listen with a critical ear as a critical podcast expert, and music would really enhance your ROI. And I'm just like, steam is blowing out of my ears. I'm just like, none of that makes any sense. I'm a podcast expert. I'm literally a podcaster. I'm presenting at Podcast Movement this year. Yeah.
Well, you are an award-winning podcaster.
Yeah, Ashley and I are co-presenting about daily podcasts. It was the lineup for Podcast Movement got announced in All Access. Picked it up.
Nice. So, congratulations. Yeah. That's very cool.
It's virtual. We're just doing a virtual. We're just going to submit a video for them to play at some point during the thing, but it's kind of cool.
How long have you been doing Curiosity Daily?
Daily May 2018, April 2018. So 3 years and a few months.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Daily. We have more than 900 episodes. 950 episodes. Yeah.
And they all are quick. I don't know if you know this. They're quick, they're accurate. The host talks fast. They tell you what they're going to tell you. They tell you, and then they tell you what they told you. And then you can move on with your day. And I like that most, but not all of the topics are safe for children. I can't wait. I wish I knew which ones weren't safe for children. Those were the ones that's what I'd be listening to for. Cody Breaks Bad one time. It just has this horrendous topic. What happened? Normally I listen to Curiosity Daily podcast with my grandmother and my toddler child. And today, what Cody said about animals and dresses, I can't do it anymore. Most, but not all of these topics are family friendly.
And poop in their pockets.
Well, listen, that's why I'm on this podcast. Because I tell you what my dog did, what my dog is going to do. I tell you that he did it, and then I tell you why I told you that he did it. So that's that. All right, so everybody listen to this. Everybody, you would buy that for $1. Everybody listen to the Curiosity Daily podcast. It's fantastic. Leave a nice 5-star review. Help Cody wake up another morning as happy as he was this morning with that review. How does that sound? Fair? I think so. For all the years of entertainment he's given you, you can't throw a 5-star review his way? That seems selfish. All right, we will talk to you again next week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, this is downloadable at all your favorite podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, throw us a 4.5-star review. I'm not greedy. I'm not Cody. You can 4.5 me, but I'd really rather a 5. That would be nice. All right. Good night, Cody. I will see you later. Good night, all. We will see you later.